Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up or the like button on this video as well. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my YouTube, you can consider joining the Discord I've created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to see the different meals that I've been enjoying as I've been working towards my goal. Today is day 922 of me working towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to go from 519.8 pounds down to 265.4, I believe is what it is. So I've lost nearly 255 pounds. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, then let us know what you're doing to succeed with your diet. I don't know if I said if you're struggling. If you're struggling, let us know what's causing your struggles. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead and go over to the main here. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday today. It has been an extremely busy day for me. Lots of traveling and running around. We will go ahead and go over food since yesterday. A couple people checking in. Hello, Cindy and Tennis and Yoga Girl. Hope everything's going great for you guys today. Ooh, we had a great dinner last night. One of our favorites. We have quite a bit. And this time we did not forget the white beans. So last night we had creamy polenta with mushrooms and white beans. It's not the prettiest photo I've ever taken of my dinner, but it was very late when I got home last night. We had dog training, so that caused us to be pretty late in the evening before we even ate. So I wasn't too concerned about how it looked. I just wanted to get it on the plate and get it eaten. Then this morning, I did not end up having any broccoli. My schedule today got totally moved around because I had to go to the doctor's appointment today that was about an hour and a half away from where we live, is where the hospital is that we went to for the doctor's appointment. So this morning I ended up eating my oatmeal really early in the morning. Something else that I was watching a video yesterday. I watch all kinds of videos all the time, but it was a video with Dr. Greger, and they were talking about intermittent fasting, or they were talking about, time restricted eating. And from what he was talking about in the video, he had mentioned that, there are studies that they've done on time restricted eating where they've had great success. And then there's been studies where there hasn't been a lot of success with it. And what he mentioned in the video that I watched was that a lot of that had to do with the timing of when you're doing your restricting of your eating. And he mentioned that the studies that seemed to show more success were studies where people had their eating window earlier in the day and then stopped eating, in the afternoon, versus what I have been doing and what I think a lot of people do is pushing breakfast to as late as possible and then eating, starting at 11 o'clock and then ending eating at 7 p.m. And so I might try to shift my eating window a little bit earlier, or maybe try to have something in the morning and then not eat so much in the evening. But I have a hard time with restricting that eating in the evening. And so that's why I've kind of been doing it the way I have. But I might try something new and see if it makes a difference or not. And then let's see, another photo of the oatmeal. And then for lunch today, like I said, I was traveling all day. So I did not even get my lunch together till about a half hour ago. It's still sitting on my desk here and I've eaten about half of it. So I still got to finish my lunch. I might take a few bites of it here and there while I'm streaming, but this is what you got to do. You got to eat bowls of food that are as big as your head. Maybe not quite. If I put it closer to the camera, it's as big as my head, right? So, let's see. Carrie's checking in. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Lynette. Carrie says, I like that. Then I'm asleep when I'm getting hungry. Yeah, that may be the way to think of it too. Like if you wake up in the morning and then try to not eat in the morning, then you spend your whole morning awake and hungry. Whereas if you just wake up and eat a good amount of food in the morning, then you have that energy. You're not hungry for the first half of the day. And then if you do end up getting hungry, it's going to be right before bed or it's going to be later at night. Yes, there is broccoli in this photo. You can see it poking through the bottom there. There's just so many potatoes. Carrie asked me if I had broccoli with the potatoes. I did have broccoli in my potatoes. I threw a little table tasty in there for some flavor, and that was my lunch for today, or currently what I'm eating for lunch today. So like I said, today was a busy day. Didn't have a lot of time to prepare to talk about much today. So if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to throw them out there. I think the first thing that I want to address is my the non-scale victory that I had gone over Tuesday. I talked about my biggest non-scale victory to date, and I just wanted to show off a little bit. I am wearing my greatest non-scale victory to date. This is an extra large shirt that we bought. I'm going to show it off real quick, see if I can. Think it fits pretty good for an extra large. I love that it fits, and I don't think I can stop wearing it. This might be the third time I've worn it since I bought it, second time I've worn it since I bought it. So yes, I am very happy with it. I am wearing a compression shirt underneath, so it does help with the shirt fitting a little bit. When I could wear it without a compression shirt. I just feel more confident and better with the compression shirt on wearing this. Eventually I plan to be thin enough that it wouldn't make a difference. So Cindy says looking great. Lynette says nice. Pretty Girl's mom says looks really good. Thank you guys. I'm very happy to be able to be wearing an extra large shirt. The company probably does run the sizes big, but whatever. Another XL might not fit me, but this one does, and I am going to revel in that for as long as I can. So, and it's wild to me to I haven't worn an extra large shirt since I was in junior high. I bet because a couple things. I imagine that the dimensions for extra large and double X and triple X have probably gotten larger over the past 20 years. If I went to a store 20, 25 years ago and pulled a double XL shirt out and laid it on a table, and then went to a store today and grabbed a double XL shirt, the shirt's probably going to be bigger today, like just because people have been getting bigger, sizes have been getting bigger. But yeah, I have not had an extra large shirt in decades, like it's crazy, decades, not just years, but decades. Lynette says you don't eat until noon to, let's see, you don't eat until noon to exclusive to, or yeah, it's too hard to not eat your dinner with your husband. Oh, I understand. And I haven't been able to do it. I watched one video and I'm like, well, maybe I'll try doing that, but it's so hard not to eat in the afternoon. Yeah, I get that, wanting that time that you have. And so it's, like I said, it's just something I might try to experiment with on myself. And if I notice a difference, I notice a difference. With Gregor's stuff, he cites a lot of studies. And so I kind of, figure, it might be worth experimenting on myself a little bit. I'm kind of, this whole challenge is a little bit of a experiment on myself. So, that might be something I try doing, but again, it's not going to work if I am just eating. Well, I mean, it might work if I eat like I do at night, but I don't know that it will work if I eat in the evening like I do now, while trying to eat earlier. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about was weight loss and the motivation for weight loss. I feel that when I first started this challenge, I was 520 pounds. I was in horrible health condition. I had a myriad of different things going wrong with me here. Real quick, Cindy says, Dr. Longo, the director of the longevity study at USC, says we really only need a 12-hour window. So maybe just, the 12-hour window you have, it pretty much fills up most of the day, at least the hours that you're awake. If you woke up and ate at 7 and then ate your last meal at 7 p.m., that would kind of be what we do, be kind of a full day of eating. So, what are they talking about? Motivation and weight loss. When I started, I was heavy. I had all kinds of health conditions. I had sleep apnea. I had swelling around my legs. I would get pain, like shooting pains in my thighs. I would have heart problems, like just stiffness, worry, like every now and then be like, oh shoot, what's going on with my chest or my heart or my lungs, or is it just a muscle pain? Maybe I just pulled a pectoral muscle, maybe it's nothing that bad. But I knew I needed to fix my health. I knew I needed to do something to improve my health, because if I didn't do something to improve my health, then I was going to eventually get a terminal diagnosis or have something happen to me that, didn't want to have happen. So I knew I needed to do something to fix that problem. The only solution I saw was losing weight, which I think many of us, when we get these health issues, it's go to the doctor, take medication. If that medication isn't doing what you want it to do, or maybe the health condition you have can't be necessarily solved by medication. And then so you say, okay, I need to lose weight. And you decide to do whatever diet you do, whatever form of removal of non-processed foods that you need to do to lose weight. That's what you do when you start, and for a lot of people, you lose some weight. Maybe you set a goal of losing 20 pounds or 50 pounds, or, you know, lose as much weight till you know, until the vacation you're going on. But the motivation to lose the weight's there because you want to get healthy, but you focus on the weight loss to get healthy. So then you lose the weight and you're at this new weight that maybe that's a healthy weight. Maybe it's just a more healthy weight than you were at before, but it doesn't mean that you've reached your health goal yet. You've just gotten away from where you were. And, but many times we get to that point where, you know, the diet that we're on gets us as far as that diet is going to take us. And we have to make a decision of whether or not to shift our diet or, you know, shift our focus. But I think so many of us, we get crushed at that point because the thing we used to lose the weight, this new diet, was supposed to be what got us the whole way there. But unless you're willing to modify the diet or work with the diet, or, you know, maybe eat a different diet than the one you're eating, you might be stuck with where you're at. And you then you lose the motivation you had, because the motivation started as trying to get healthy. In order to get healthy, you decide you lose weight. You lose the weight, and then, you know, you lose some weight, but you're not all the way to the health goal, but you say, hey, I completed my goal of weight loss, and you let up. You know, you don't get to the healthy, or you don't figure out how to stay the healthy, you know, or stay healthier. So you give up on the diet. And so what you have to do is you either have to, from the beginning, make health the focus. You know, I'm going to lose weight, but health is the focus. Or after you lose that weight and things start to get tough, you have to go back to health being the focus. You can't allow weight loss to be the motivator, especially when weight loss slows down. You know, when weight loss is rapidly happening, very easy to use it as a motivator. But in any diet, that's going to level off, and you're going to have you're going to flatten out that line of weight loss, and you're going to have to find other motivating factors. Only losing a half a pound in a week isn't near as motivating for the following week as if you would have lost 5 pounds like you might have done in your first week. So you have to refocus on health. You have to make it about health and staying healthy and being healthy for the long run, not just being healthy for that event you're trying to lose weight for, or being healthy for that moment that you reach that spot. Let's see, a few people checking in. Karen and Barb, hello. Hope everybody's doing great. Karen here says, yes, you had to refocus on your why. Yeah, absolutely. You know, my why is to get healthier, to live longer, so I can live with, I can grow old with Carrie and watch our kids grow up and walk our girls down the aisle and, watch my son graduate from college and get married and have his own kids. Like, those things are all things that I want to do. That was my why when I started this. My how was weight loss. I'm going to be able to see them in the future for weight loss, by losing weight. When the how should be, I'm going to see them get old, and how I'm going to do that is by continually focusing on my health, not on my weight loss. If I only worry about my weight loss, then I would not be eating the way I'm eating right now for this past 6 to 8 months that I've been eating you know, really clean and really well, I wouldn't be, if it was just weight loss that I was focused on, now I would eat less food and I would lose more weight, but I don't think that I could sustain that. And I think that that would then, you know, eventually rebound and hurt me. But my focus is health. So I eat a good amount of food. I make sure all of the food that enters my body is healthy food that is good and nourishing for me. And so even if my weight doesn't go down from one week to the next, it doesn't matter, because everything that I consumed from last week to this week was health promoting foods. It might not have been weight loss promoting foods, but they were health promoting foods. I am a healthier person now than when I started, and I'm going to continue to get healthier. And when I look back at my other diets that I did, I realized that at no point during those diets was I really that much healthier than when I started. I was just lighter, and being lighter does not mean healthier. You know, when I think about when I lost weight in 2013, that I was taking an appetite suppressant. That was 100% of the reason why I was able to lose weight. And I was eating junk, horrible diet. Like it was Pringles and Kit Kats and sausages was my diet, you know, and I lost a ton of weight. But when I got down, when I was 100 pounds lighter, I wouldn't be able to say that I was that much healthier. I would, you know, there was conditions that had cleared up. My sleep apnea wasn't as bad. You know, losing the weight did help me, but internally, my stomach and my organs and my liver and my kidney and my lungs and my heart, I don't think they were that much healthier. They just were not being taxed as much by the excess weight that I had on my body. Cindy here says that you're at your final 15 to 20 pounds and the scale barely moves. Yeah, it's going to happen. You still focus on what you eat, but you're focusing on exercising and using bands for toning. Yeah. You know, when you're getting down to that point where you're within 15, 20 pounds, yeah, it's going to slow down a lot. And you have to just be patient with that process. You know, like how long did you wait to even get started on your diet? And then how long did it take you to get to the weight you're at right now? You know, what does it matter if it takes twice as long from here going forward to get to your goal, as long as you're healthier the whole way? Because that's the goal, is healthier the whole way down. Ricky says, I'm here. Where's the 520 pound guy? Can't find him. Yes, I'm in here still. I'm going to have to put, maybe I'll have to like double my video here in a little bit. And then the two 260 pound versions of me can talk at the same time. And then that'll be like 520 pounds. You know, I'm so happy that I've been able to lose the weight and not be that 500 pound guy anymore. You know, we had a doctor's appointment today. Just seeing the doctor being lighter, you know, makes me feel, you know, because I don't know that I would even have thought this prior to right now that I'm going to say it, but at 520 pounds, you take your kids to the doctor to have them seen for whatever reason. You know, it might be in the back of your head that, you know, if I'm hurting myself this much, if I'm treating myself this bad, you know, what kind of diet am I giving my kid? What kind of environment does my kid live in? You know, I don't believe, especially I really like this doctor that we've been seeing since our kid was born, but so I wouldn't necessarily think that of this doctor, but just in general, when I have these, you know, an interaction or parent teacher conferences at 520 pounds, like how are they judging me and my ability to parent my kid based off of my weight? And losing that weight, now I don't have that much, I don't have, like I said, I don't know that I really ever had that concern. I'm sure that there are people that have that in their head more than others, but I don't have to worry about that anymore, which is kind of cool, which is nice. And it's only going to get better. I'm only going to get thinner and start to be closer to my actual, a healthy weight for somebody my height. Ricky asks, are you adding any weightlifting, Pilates, stretching, or walking? I have not right now. I haven't really since the beginning of this. I don't know if I've talked about it recently or not, but so I started the challenge. I lost a good amount of weight very quickly. I lost about 160 pounds. And at that point, I was thinking, maybe I need to start working out to get this weight loss going or to keep the weight loss going. And so I challenged myself to do a sprint triathlon. If you don't know what a triathlon is, it is it's a swim. You swim and then you ride a bike and then you do a run. And so a sprint triathlon is just a smaller version of a triathlon. Like they're usually longer. So I did a 400-meter swim, a 15-mile bike ride, and a 5K run. And so I was 140 pounds, probably 160 pounds. I was probably 160 pounds lighter. So I was 340 pounds. And I trained for 6 weeks, not real hard training, but just training the distances, the bike riding, just getting used to being on my feet. And I completed the sprint triathlon. It took me about 2 hours to get it done. And I was the last person to complete the sprint triathlon, but I got it done. And then I injured myself. I got injured. I tore my bicep tendon doing some stuff getting ready for a camping trip. And I stopped going to the gym after that. And I have lost another 80 pounds since then, 75 pounds since then, just through diet alone. I haven't gotten back into the gym. I anticipate that the next 3 months I'm going to be active. I'm going to be out with the kids doing things. I got lots of bike rides planned. I think I'm going to be pretty active this summer, but the idea of spending any time on a treadmill or a stationary bike or inside of a building, taking a class during the summer here, I'm not thinking I'm going to do any of that. I do love yoga though. Like I have not done yoga for 10 years, but when I did yoga 10 years ago, I did enjoy it. So I do some stretching on my own, just from what I remember from like the yoga, but it's not like workout stretching, it's just, I should, bend over and touch my toes, which is amazing that I can do. I can bend over and touch my toes. Ricky says, to think that you were 520 pounds, your muscles must be incredibly strong. Yeah. Carrying that amount of weight around, does make you strong. I was pretty strong. I've always been a pretty strong person. I was, if in high school we would have had a weightlifting competition, I probably would have won most of the lifts, but, so I've always been strong. I haven't done lifting or working out in 20 years, but carrying around 400 pounds and then 520 pounds, those muscles stay strong. My calf muscles, are massive. I don't know if I could, in my opinion, they're massive, I guess. Yeah, I can't really, I've always got I've had people make comments on them. But so yeah, I'm pretty strong. One of the things that, I realize, or that I think about, is that that's the one attribute that I was always able to hold on to. It was always, well, he may be fat, but look how strong he is, and it's really been since I was in early, in junior high, or as a kid, you can make up for being overweight by being the strongest kid in the room or stronger than anybody else, because you're not going to get made fun of if you can beat them up. They might be able to outrun you, but if you catch them, and so that was what I held on to, and I embraced it. It was like, well, if I'm going to be fat, then I'm going to be the strongest fat person I can be. And so, when I was what was it, between my sophomore, junior, it must've been when I was a sophomore in high school, I hit the gym hard. I went from kind of being a softer kind of guy to putting on a ton of muscle. I was in the gym for there was like a 6-month period that I was in the gym 6 times a week, and I was hitting it hard to try to get as big as I could to be the best football player possible. But I think that over my life, I've always held on to that. At least I'm strong. I know I'm 500 pounds, but I'm so strong that I can carry 500 pounds around, and carrying 500 pounds around for me is like carrying 300 pounds around for somebody else, because I'm so strong. And then I think a lot of people, they think, well, I'm already so strong, I'll just go to the gym and lift weights to lose weight. And then, I'll stay strong and lose weight. And something that I kind of thought about early on with this challenge, maybe even before I started this challenge, is the greatest compliment that anybody will ever be able to give me by the end of this might be, dude, you look skinny and weak. Because my whole life I've held on to that I'm fat and strong, and being fat and strong isn't going to get me where I want to be. Being skinny and weak might, and so, I don't imagine that I'll get to a point where somebody calls me weak or I look weak. I think that it would take a lot of muscle, atrophy for that to happen. The only other thing, my bicep tendons have not been nice to my bicep tendons for the last 2 years. And so my biceps are probably pretty weak, because on both of my arms, I tore my bicep tendon. The same tendon, just different arms. And that I would attribute to a couple things. I think genetics is part of it. I've always had issues with tendons and ligaments. I've had my right ACL replaced twice. I used to have to wear kind of heel lifts, or not a lot, but when I was in junior high, I went to a doctor and was given like these foam heel lifts because my Achilles tendon would be so tight that it would cause me pain. I think that it's a genetic thing with my tendons, and it also might be that my muscles were kind of stronger than they needed to be. I don't know. But I think genetics played a big part of my bicep tendon. So my biceps, I don't know if I can. Oh, this is the one that's is it this way? And then that's the one that's been healing the longest. And then this one is just been my right bicep. I had this surgery in December, so it's probably not big. anyways, I don't care about my muscles. I guess I just use that as an excuse to flex in front of camera in front of all of you. But I'm not concerned about my muscles in the end. So how I tore my bicep tendons in 2 different ways. My left bicep tendon, I was putting these, if you know what those 10 by 10 canopies are, I was putting them in a trailer, and I had my arm extended like this, but it was at my side. And so I was pushing into the canopies, and I pushed my hip in, and at the same time I was pushing with the palm of my hand, and the stress of my bicep tendon, the springiness of the canopies, and my hip pushing in at the same time popped my bicep tendon, and that was in 2021. And then in December of last year, I kind of stupid, but we have December last year is when I tore my right bicep tendon. We have a really long gravel driveway that the garbage guys pick up our garbage at the end of our, let's say, 300-yard driveway that's straight down a hill from our house. And so I take the garbage can every week, I put it in the bed of my pickup truck, and then I drive it to the end of the driveway and I set it down. And I was picking up the garbage can, and I had my elbow, I had my palm up, which was the mistake, a big mistake. If you're going to lift something heavy, having your palm up is going to put you in a lot of danger. I'm explaining how I know, I guess. I could say, ask me how I know, but I'm explaining it. So I had my elbow kind of on my knee. I had my left hand holding the top of the can, and I went to lift it up, and I tore my bicep tendon. So it was stupid things both times. And, the garbage can thing, I think some of that might be because I lost so much weight, like to do that maneuver, if you can visualize what I'm even talking about. But we have these larger cans that are on wheels that have the handles. Most people have seen that type of garbage can. When I was 500 pounds, I could use my weight as like a counterbalance for that kind of lifting or leverage. And so so just losing that weight and then trying to do something that I would have been able to have an extra 100 pounds of inertia helping me lift, or with the first one pushing into the thing, I wouldn't have maybe had to push so hard with my hand if my body weight was heavier. So it's that's how I tore my 2 bicep tendons. I mean, it was just dumb things that the first one was really surprised. The second time I knew it the second it happened, and I was really pissed at myself for doing what I was doing at the time because I knew better. And so, yeah, the second bicep tendon, I called up the same doctor, and it was rinse and repeat of what I did the first time. And the rehab went super quick. Like I said, I just had that surgery in December of 2022. So 4.5 months ago. And I finished up with my physical therapy about a month ago with that. So Carrie says, look at you flexing in front of the camera. Yes. Yes. Drooling over me. Yes, absolutely. Um, so yeah, that was, so yeah, I guess initially you asked me about working out. I plan to be busy this summer, but I don't necessarily plan to be at the gym or doing a regimented workout, just being more active. The kids are getting very active. They got lots of things going on. We running them around all the time. And to just try, to find that extra time, it's difficult. So, um, and so far the diet's been doing well for me, especially the last few weeks. So as long as I can keep that diet train going, I will keep it going. What was the other notes? I think I went through the whole, what I wanted to talk about with the shifting from the weight loss, because that's how it all starts. We want to get healthier. How do I get healthier? I'm going to lose weight. Now that I've lost weight, then what do you do? Like you found out how to lose weight, but you never found out how to stay healthy. And you have to start figuring out how to stay healthy after the weight loss happens. And especially that easy weight that you lose early on. The other thing I had in my notes here, I've been really thinking about listening to the Pleasure Trap book again. I've listened to it multiple times since I started this challenge, and I do recommend that if you haven't read the Pleasure Trap or listened to it on Audible, I think it's a great resource. It's a great book. But I was thinking about the motivational triad yesterday. I'm trying to think of why I have it written in my notes. So the motivational triad, if you guys don't know what the motivational triad is, it is the driving force for all species of life, according to the authors of the Pleasure Trap book. And it's the three parts of the motivational triad are that all creatures on this planet are trying to seek pleasure. They're all trying to avoid pain, and they're all trying to conserve energy. And what we have to realize is that many of these things in our world have, they are designed to focus on those three things specifically. So if you look at fast food restaurants, for example, fast food restaurants allow you to seek pleasure through the food that you're eating. Eating any type of food is going to give you some form of pleasure. Eating the fast food, and especially how they have engineered it now, is going to give you an incredible amount of pleasure. They allow you to avoid pain because you don't have to, and this is one of the things about the motivational triad that I think that they either should have had it be a 2-part thing or a 4-part thing, because I believe that the avoiding pain and the conserving energy can be kind of intertwined very much. Like the fast food restaurant allows us to conserve the energy of having to exert force towards cooking ourselves dinner, which you could say that having to exert any force is the avoidance of, or it's the like the opposite of conservation of energy, I think is what I'm trying to say. But they feed into that, the motivational triad. If you look at anything that you're tempted to do and you think of it in the realm of the motivational triad, what's causing me to want to do this? Is this making my life easier? Is it allowing me more pleasure? Is it allowing me to, not be harmed? Is it keeping me from being harmed? And so I really think that the motivational triad is something that the food industries and really all industries in the world they know about it. They may not call it the motivational triad, but they know that if they can give people the highest amount of pleasure with the least amount of effort, that is going to get them the most amount of revenue. And that's what their goal is. Let's see. Ricky says you haven't heard of it. You'll have to look it up. I imagine you're talking about the Pleasure Trap. Yes, I really like the Pleasure Trap book. It's written by Dr. Doug Lisle and Alan Goldhamer. They are the physicians at the True North Clinic in California that they do medically supervised extended water fasts out there. And so when I started this challenge, I was fasting, and that's how I found out about their clinic and what caused me to start eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, because they promote eating this diet. And I am very happy with the success I've had from it. Let's see. Cindy here says Kelly McGonigal, PhD, has a book called The Joy of Movement, and that's on Cindy's list of books to read. I might have to look at that and see what that, what that's about. So another thing that I guess to go back, Ricky, to your question about the working out, something that happened after I completed the sprint triathlon, I was extremely happy to do it. The 5K, I was so wiped out that the 5K run for me was really pretty much a 5K walk to complete out the triathlon. And the entire time I was doing that 5K, I was probably 325-ish pounds at that time. I was wishing that I was lighter. Like, I was having, everybody was already pretty much done with the event. I wasn't last by a lot, but it was whatever. I wouldn't have been last if I would have been able to run the 5K, I guess, because I did not finish. So the swimming and the biking, I wasn't in last place. It wasn't until we did the 5K that I dropped back to last place. And it was because I was far too heavy to be running. Like, I know that you can run at 300 pounds. And I did do running training. I did lots of running while I was training to do the 5K. But I really, at that time, I was like, I need to lose more weight. Like, I can bike and I can swim, but my body cannot handle running at 325 pounds. Even as strong as I am, the benefit that I would get by burning that extra few hundred calories, I think I would be hurting my joints and my muscles and the longevity of my diet, pushing it at that time. Now that I'm 265 pounds, I've done a couple little kind of maybe jog to the corner or jog back to my truck just to kind of see how it feels. And it is markedly different running at 265 pounds than it was at 325 pounds. And so I am a little bit more tempted to try, but I'm also very tempted to wait until I get to like 240 pounds and then kind of see what I want to do. Let's see. Carrie is asking, does anybody know the first documentary or movie Chef AJ was in? Carrie wanted to look it up, but she couldn't remember it. I'm not sure what the first documentary or movie Chef AJ was in. Cindy here says that you registered for the Monterey, California 3K walk in November after having a hip replacement surgery this March. That's awesome that you are getting out and doing that event in November. Just, what is that? 7 months after having your hip replaced. That's great. Ricky says you can't do a 5K now. That would be so nice to be able to do it. Yeah, it's I was so happy that I did that sprint triathlon. I was really, I put a pretty hard challenge in front of myself and I was able to complete it. So I was happy with doing it. Yeah, there's different types of 5Ks too, if you get a 5K on a flat path, it's pretty easy. You might surprise yourself. We did a 5K in our little town, about a year and a half ago. It was actually just after I tore the first bicep tendon and I had my arm in a sling. And so I walked the 5K and it was horrible because I live in a river town. And so there's no flat roads. It was either we were going up a hill or down a hill for the whole 5K. And there were a few ladies who had been training on a, bike path that ran along the river. And they were greatly surprised at the difficulty difference between walking a flat 5K and doing a hilly 5K. But, it's something that, eventually you can get to that point, but I don't see it worth the effort to harm your joints or harm your body pushing it. The weight loss will eventually allow you to get to a point where you can to do that, because the other thing that I've thought about too in the past in this challenge is that, actually I was thinking about this yesterday. When I used to running any distance was difficult. So if my coach or my PE teacher told me to run 100 yards, I was winded after 100 yards, regardless of how hard I ran that 100 yards. If he told me to run 400 yards, I'd be winded after the 400 yards. But so what I was thinking about is how, no matter what distance, when I put up the energy to get my body running into what somebody would say would be a running speed, it would exhaust me. But there were people standing next to me that had no problems, that if coach would have said, hey, go run 7 miles, they'd have run 7 miles and they'd have got done and they would have been tired, but they wouldn't have been maybe exhausted. Like somebody who can run a distance, running a mile, they get done, their heart rate's at 120 beats a second and they're breathing moderately heavy. They run 2 miles, their heart rate is 120 beats and they're breathing moderately heavy. Like the running for them, for the let's say from 100 yards to the 5K point is the same difficulty if they're just trying to run at their running speed. For me, running speed felt like I was sprinting, but to the rest of the world, it looked like I was just barely moving faster than walking speed. But in order to go just faster to walking speed, I had to exert as much energy as my 150-pound teammate had to expend. I had to expend as much energy going 100 yards as they would expend doing a mile or 2 miles. Let's see. Carrie's saying it was not forks over knives. People are asking. Janet's saying maybe it was called Eating You Alive. Cindy says Eating You Alive features Chef AJ. Yeah, maybe it didn't come out before folks but it definitely isn't as popular currently. Yeah, maybe Eating You Alive. I'm not sure what you're looking for in the video, or if you remember maybe any part of her being in the video, then maybe. So yeah, so I was just thinking about that, because when I was training to do that triathlon, my biggest focus was training my body to do the distances. So anytime I went out and ran, I would try to run or walk at least a 5K distance. Or if I went out and biked, it might have been tough to get a 15-mile bike ride in every time, but I tried to bike at least 10 miles when I rode my bike. And but when I was running, it was, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to run from here to the curve in the path, 75 yards up. And so I would kind of, get running and I'd be doing my thing, and I get 75 yards and oh my God. I look down at my watch and my heart rate would be at like 145 beats a minute or 195. My heart would be exploding, and I just run 70, and like I said, it was barely more than a trot, but I was just exhausted. But then other people can just go and go and go. And yesterday I was realizing that eventually I'm going to be able to, be somebody who can go and run a mile, like we used to have a guy that worked for us that we used to joke that every morning he would wake up and he would go and he would run 7 miles, and then he would come into work and he would do a labor intensive, hard job. And it was no problem for him. And I'd like to be at a point where, something like that's no problem for me either. All right. I think I'm going to get out of here for today. I appreciate everybody checking in, asking questions, hanging out. Let's see. Carrie says she's Googling it. We need all clips of Chef AJ sent to my email. She's trying to find some random clip. I don't know. I appreciate all you guys. It is Thursday, so I'm not going to make any promises that I will be on tomorrow, but I will kind of plan to be on tomorrow. I appreciate your guys' support. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you haven't hit the like on this video, make sure you hit the like as well. It helps out this whole YouTube thing. Yeah, thank you guys so much. If you have not started your diet yet, you need to get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that reaches their goals, looks back and wishes that they would have started sooner. It's funny. I was in that hospital today that the first time I weighed in at over 500 pounds was taking my daughter to a doctor's appointment. And that was 6 months before I started this challenge. And I think about that pretty much every time I finish this video and I say what I say. I think about that I wish I would have started this the day I saw it was 515 pounds, because then I'd be 6 months along. I could be at my goal. I could be there, but I'll get there either way. I just wish I would have started sooner. So, oh, Ricky, you're thinking about a plant-based diet, pondering it. I would say give it a shot. It seems crazy. But yeah, I like it. I've been enjoying it. Pretty much everybody in my chat's been doing it for years now. If you've tried everything else, then, I guess what I used to say, I've tried everything, and I realized I had not tried everything. I've done everything to lose weight. I went to Weight Watchers. I bought the gadgets. I took the pills. I did the workouts. I did all the things you're supposed to do to lose weight. I did it all. There's nothing else for me to do. I gave up. 2013, I took appetite suppressants. I lost an incredible amount of weight and it failed. And I was like, I've done everything. There's nothing more for me to do. I've done the low carb. I've done the Weight Watchers. I've gone to the doctor. The only thing left for me to do is to get surgery. That was what my mindset was. And then I found fasting. And I thought maybe I could do something with this fasting thing. And then fasting led me to a plant-based diet. And while fasting was incredible for resetting my body, plant-based diet allows me to nourish it and to keep it going and to lose weight at the same time. So just give it a shot. You can't say you've tried everything if you haven't tried a plant-based diet. And you got to give it a true shot too. You know, you got to give it a couple weeks. You got to give it some time. Get that dairy out of your system. Get that dairy out of your system. The big thing. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. I will, that's great. You said you didn't think about it. I didn't think about it till I was here either, Ricky. So I'm going on. I started this challenge because I was going to fast my way to a healthy weight. I was going to do water fasting. I was going to do an extended water fast. I was going to eat a keto diet. I was going to eat a paleo diet. I was going to eat whatever. I was going to fast though. I was going to eat fasting windows. I was going to do 5 days of fasting, 2 days of eating. And then I read the Pleasure Trap book, started listening to the videos with Alan Goldhamer on YouTube. And it changed my mind to try. You know, I could always go to keto. Like when I started this, I was like, I'll do this for a little while. If it doesn't work, I'll do keto. I'll go carnivore. I'll do Mediterranean. I'll try paleo, but I'll give this a shot first. And this stuck, and I've been doing it since. So anyways, yes, no problem, Ricky. I love talking, so it's not a problem. So you guys have a great evening.